Oh, y'all couldn't hear me. I was muted. All right. So, hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings, incredible greetings, everyone. How are you guys doing? All right. I need to. Hello. Welcome. Incredible greetings, incredible afternoon. All right. I got to separate these so that I can actually see comments. So, give me a moment. Let me do that and separate these so that I can actually see comments. There we go. There we go. All right. I can see everybody now. Yay. All right. I feel like it's been a while. It's just so weird. Like, before I used to go live pretty much every single day, sometimes multiple times per day. Don't do that as much anymore. Between one to one, pro call sessions and like some other things. And then also kind of in there, also taking a break, trying to figure out certain things. Because I have been feeling like the things that I teach, I don't know if that audience has fallen off to where they're no longer doing the things that I was teaching. And it's like, is everyone, I mean, don't get me wrong, like learning AI is a good thing. It's the way of like, it's the way that most things are going. But I'm always like, when it comes to teaching AI, I don't feel like my audience wants to learn to use AI like systematically, like how I use it. Because when I've tried to do that, it's like people aren't interested. It's more like they just want to know how to create images or try to force it to make changes or make like, a mock up because they don't want to go through like, different programs to like make mock-ups and things of that nature, or they wanted to like just make out their flyers and do like everything. They don't want to like really build out and make sure that the information is correct. And then I find that the issue with for a lot of people is when they want to correct something or change something, they want to change their prices. Like it's changing everything. Like I don't really teach that. I don't say condone, like I don't fully support using AI in that manner. Like there are some things that to me just still manually need to be done. You can use it for inspiration and kind of get them a baseline, especially if like you're having kind of like a creative freeze, a brain freeze. But having it create everything is just not something that I do, so I don't necessarily teach it. And I'm not really big on creating like full on like imagery and like all these different things. Like I use it like I'll use it to create small things that I end up putting together in Silhouette Studio, Canva, or Photoshop. So I'm always, I feel like how I use AI is not how most people want to use AI. And then I use AI for other stuff, especially on the back end of my business to make things run more efficiently. Um, but systems, I've been trying to teach systems for a whole year. And I just don't think that the craft world really cares about systems. So I've kind of taken a step back because I don't really know what to teach because I just have no desire to be like an AI teacher for images. Like if you guys were interested in it and how to use these different platforms for systems and how to improve your business, hey, I'm your girl, just not for images. So I've been trying, trying to figure out where to kind of go with what I do here on the social media streets. And I do digital product. No, I started, in digital. Like classes are considered to be a digital product. Selling one to many, doing group sessions and things like that. And I've been doing that for a really, really long time. So even before digital products was a buzzword, I was already doing that. I've had templates and things like that from Silhouette Studio before it was, Canva templates and that became a buzzword. Like I've been doing this for a really, really long time. I just don't do a lot of like my full on designing in Canva. So I feel like most people, when they think of digital products, it's always like a Canva file, never like the silhouette files, or even if you were to create like a template in Photoshop, which that was a really big thing for a while. But now it's like everyone, they think of like selling someone a design template, like everything is Canva. So I'm just, I'm just trying to figure out like where I fit in the whole creative or craft world and what I do. Like I'm still thriving in the things that I do. And like I still use Soul Studio. Like to me, it's still the best program ever. I use Canva, here and there. I'm more of an Excel girly, or like Google Sheets, Google Forms, Google Docs, like those type things. But there's a place for Canva in everything that I do. But I guess if you're not like an instructor or a teacher and you're hosting classes, you probably wouldn't care about the presentation part of it and how I utilize that, and like video creation and how I utilize that. So I just don't know. Like I have to find the tribe of people who want to learn to use Canva to create business systems or things like presentations or videos and stuff like that. So I've been MIA a little bit. So I tell that to say I've been MIA a little bit. Okay. Yeah, it's been a while. Hello, Catherine, how art thou? Just gifted, incredible afternoon. Felicia, hello, how art thou? Stacia, hello. Miss Myrna, how art thou? Okay. Ooh, excuse me, mom. Okay, I need you to move out of my way because you're really in the way. Okay, there we go. But how are you all doing? What have you guys been working on? Are you still in the throes of grad season? Have you moved on to whether it's like Father's Day, or started to think about like the summertime where we have family reunions and gatherings and picnics and wedding season? If you are someone that's connected when it comes, like you do a lot of stuff for colleges, even though like we're at the end of this school year, pretty much at the top of like the next school year, in that like October November range is when we start to have homecomings. Are you guys already starting to plan for that? You really should, if you plan to take advantage and want to get some of those homecoming funds. I would start planning now and figuring out what type of designs you're going to do, what schools you're going to target, things of that nature. Because especially HBCU homecoming season it's a really big thing if you did not know that. So just wanted to know, like, what are you guys working on right now? Are you kind of fly by night? I've seen a lot of like regular, like not necessarily holiday or theme type stuff. Like I've seen a lot of people get into the 3D printing. I'm seeing a lot of like the igloo style can covers. I'm not going to call them koozies or coolers because they're not insulated, so they don't keep your drink cold. But it's just like something really cute, and it's so that it has a handle. I've seen people have like the to pop the top, like to open the can openers and things on there. So I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of like 3D printing. Of course, everybody is now catching on to UV DTF transfers and using them a lot more. So I'm seeing a big uptick in that, like in groups. DTF has been around for a while. More people are using that, but for like hard substrates where sublimation was kind of, it was like, we'll just say sublimation is king. It was like the main thing for decorating or putting designs on mugs and things of that nature. More and more people are starting to move into UV DTF transfers. They are definitely a lot more pricier, but it's less likely to mess up or something to ghost and, or not transfer. So what have you guys been working on creatively? That closet looks a hot mess.com. Let's go ahead and tilt you just a little bit because, baby, that closet is a hot mess. What have you guys been working on? And if you have not given this video a thumbs up, click out of the live chat, give this video a thumbs up. If you're watching over on Facebook, give the video a like, a heart, tag a friend, comment, just say hello. All of those interactions definitely help, because since I'm not on as much, probably a little algorithm boost because I'm not on as much as I used to be. So I think the algorithm forgets about me sometimes. And we do need to share this out. I did forget to do that. So let's go ahead and share this out. Okay, no, I don't want to switch to, see this switch to 365 Creative Cam. I don't want to switch to it. I just want to go to it to use it. Okay, let's go to 365 Creative Academy. I'm a basket maker, so I've been working on graduation gifts and Father's Day baskets. Okay. So with those, I mean, it's like what, fulfilling the orders? Have you capped out? Are you still actively taking orders? Have you reached like your cutoff for it? And then what's the next thing that you're going to plan for? Since you make baskets, like those can be used all year, you know, like birthdays or retirements or you know, get well soon ones. It can be used for baby showers, stuff like that. So do you work like, do you plan around specific holidays or times of year, or do you have campaigns and launches like, or you know, you have services and you advertise for all throughout the year, no matter what the occasion is? Showers, stuff like that. So all right, there we go. I'm like, golly, my phone is moving very slowly. Okay. Okay, I can't see anything that is on here. Why is that? Okay, the wrong thing is moving. Okay, there we go. Now we're in there like swimwear. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. Where you come from? I have some oversized cutouts for a SpongeBob theme that I have to do. So that's one of the things that I'll be working on. That event is on my birthday, actually, on May 30th. It's on the Saturdays, but I have to finish those beforehand. I'm actually waiting on approval, and I'll show you guys this thing real quick. And this is something that's going to be, it's a important thing. Like, it's important to know things like this when you are book to do like large cutouts, even as an event planner. So if you don't know, I was an event planner in my former life. um, so I still do a lot, I get contacted a lot for that, more so like locally. I don't ship out as much as I used to before because I just kind of focus on local. Mainly do street vending. So I just do all occasions, no matter what holiday. Oh, okay. All right, let's go share screen. Share audio just in case I need that. I don't think I will need audio, but we're gonna do it just in case. I'm gonna go through all these because I can't see it, so it's gonna force me to go through. Oh wait, it's gonna force me to go through all of the layouts. Okay, wait, let me see. This one is Shift F, Shift 7. Okay, there we go. Let's see here. Okay, well, this isn't the one that I wanted to show. This was from last year when I did MJ's last year? Yeah, last year when I did his 8th grade prom. Oh, dang. Okay, here we go. So here is, so she did say that she wanted 36 inches, right? So I was asking, like, okay, around what size she wanted, the SpongeBob gang, and she was like, she wanted, I asked, how large do you want them to be like? Or I asked, how do you plan to use them? And the average person will kind of just give you a size. And, in this case, she said 36 inches. So she basically wants them to be 3 feet. But with these characters in their, I guess, like regular sizing and things of that nature, like Patrick is taller, and wider than SpongeBob. Squidward, definitely taller, but he's also like, his body frame is more narrow. Mr. Krabs, much wider. You can have the eyes go up, sandy cheeks. So if they're all around about the same size, so even with this one, I was like, I just couldn't do it to make SpongeBob the same size as them. So like if I was to bring him up to around like 36 inches or so, it starts to look a little disproportionate if they're going to be placed together, because now SpongeBob looks a lot bigger than Patrick. He isn't supposed to be that like the same height as Squidward. You're looking at like the head size, everything looks a little bit off when they're all one size. Now, if I was doing something like centerpieces, then, and they were going to be on their own, we could have them be just kind of like, one size pretty much. I would probably just max it out to, depending on what size paper I'm using. That's how I normally decide, like, on the size, if it's going to be something that's small or large, because I max it out on different size papers. But you can see here how SpongeBob looks compared to the rest of them. Now, this one is set up to where they are sized based off of their natural, like how, if it was life size and like how, like their natural proportions. So Patrick is bigger than SpongeBob. Squidward is, Mr. Krabs is kind of sort of the same, like with his eyes, like he becomes like the same height as SpongeBob. When you're watching the actual cartoon and they're next to each other, you can tell like that height. And then Sandy is definitely taller than SpongeBob. So this is their natural proportions. And if I go off of who is technically the main character and saying like SpongeBob, and I'm making this to be 36, which although this is not, so I'm going to make this a little bit bigger because he's not quite at 36 just yet. Okay, so that's about 36. So with him being 36, Squidward ends up being 46 inches in height and 19, almost 20 inches in width because he's kind of leaning back. So from his head to his foot on this side, it measures about 20 inches, so 19.8. Patrick measures 44 by 33.6. Mr. Krabs, 40 by 35.69, so 35.7. And Sandy measures 41 and a half by about a little under 30. So then I have to go to my client and, this is where budget comes into play. Because if you're going to display them together, do you want them to have that look like, so some people may take them and they're using them as like a backdrop or something. So they just want them to look like, the whole gang is together. They may even have them closer together like this, or they may spread them out in different places. If they're not going to be like in the same spot, they may not care too much. But as you like look at the pictures, you'll be able to tell that like one is like way bigger, than the other. Or like more narrow and things of that nature. Because SpongeBob is the main theme, they may be okay with him appearing bigger, because these, like all of these, they don't seem that bad because they're almost like around about the same height anyway, just like a slight difference. So for them, they're not that bad. They look proportionally correct, but SpongeBob just looks humongous compared to the rest of them when he shouldn't be that big. But it comes down to budget, because this is a significantly higher price than having them all be 36. So I typically give my clients, like I break it down for them fully for them to understand. And then based off of their budget and, how much they're wanting to spend is what we go with. If it look crazy, that's on them. They wanted to go with their budget. So I'm one where I give options when it comes to these type things. So that's one of the things I'm waiting on a response for now, on which direction they want to go in. And it'll pretty much come down to the cost and like the budget. So, but these are the things that to me are important, where I find a lot of crafters, a lot of those getting into business, this is where you guys get stuck, because you don't like, or let's say you are one where you're like, okay, I want to make them proportional, and they reject the price. And then, some of y'all get into the, well, I'm not cheap, it's quality, but you're not providing them another option. This is something that I go over with my creative business students, where I'm talking about, giving options, and, especially if it's not going to, like the setup part of it. It was nothing. I had to do the same exact steps to get these images, tracing, detach them, all of that. The only difference is sizing them up. Like that's literally it, is just sizing them. And once you know the sizing, I have formulas that I use. I put it in there. I now have the pricing. I'm going to present them both pricings and then explain, how things will look. And I put the ball in their court. So I'm not going to lose the job because they're just like, okay, let's say the regular standard way was too rich for their blood, but they're okay with the smaller ones, even if they don't look proportionate, they're disproportionate. That is on them. I'm not going to lose out on the sale. These are strategies. These are systems and things that I teach in my creative business program. I need your recommendation on a Cameo. I'm done with Cricut Limited Cutting. All right, so we're going to come back to me on this one. Okay, So as far as recommendations for cameos, in store or online, should I say, you're going to pretty much find the 5. That's the newer one. Okay. I don't have any experience with the newer one. I don't have a problem with mine. I'm not that person that just buys them just to buy them. There's nothing wrong with mine. I still use my original cameos. I actually just did look. I did an order this morning. Well, it was for Zion Imani's award ceremony, and this is the cameo too. So I still use my old ones. They cut, fine. I'm not one that's looking for something to be like super, super fast. I have multiple machines. So if I had like large jobs and things of that nature, I have more than one machine. That is where my speed and productivity comes in, not in just kind of having a machine that prints or that, not say prints, Lord Jesus, that cuts faster. The 4 is supposed to cut faster, but I find that it's not as accurate of a cut when using like that auto blade. I use my regular manual blade. I don't ever use the auto blade with the auto blade. To me, just isn't that great. So with the 4s, if I was forced to use the auto blade, I probably would despise them. But because I put the manual blade in there, I can tolerate them. I do like my 4s because I don't have to always have it connected. So I have this cart that I have coming, and I'll be able to put more than one. In my old room, even built me these shelves, and I was able to have them like stacked on the shelves, and they were long because you can see here also, I only use 12 by 24 inch mats. It's very rare that I'm printing to anything 8.5 by 11 other than like sticker paper. I use 8.5 by 11 for like my custom passports and like game booklets and things like that. Of course, I'll use it for stuff like chip bags and that type of stuff. But whenever I'm printing out cutouts, I'm pretty much always printing to 11 by 17 paper. So I'm always using the longer mats. I need to have space for that. And in here, once we came in here, I don't have enough space to really have more than one machine kind of going on the tabletop. So I'll have things on the floor. I like the fact that the Cameo 4 and the Cameo 5, they have, it's integrated, like the Bluetooth, and it actually works. The 3 is always kind of spotty sometimes, but the 4 and the 5, they work with the Bluetooth. So I've had my machine sitting in the hallway so that I can cut. And I like that because I don't have to have it hardwired in. A lot of the newer computers don't have USB ports, and you would have to get the adapter. And sometimes, like if you don't have a really good adapter, you choose. So of course, any of the machines where you don't have to have them hardwired in is always going to be best. If you can find a 4 on Marketplace or like any of the third party like Marketplace, what's the OfferUp and like marketplaces, eBay, all of those, if you can find them there, definitely go with the 4. They're going to cut the same way. There is no major advantage to the 5 over the 4. Of course, they added things like the electrostatic mat, but you're limited on size for that. So for someone like me, I could never use the electrostatic mat because it's not a 12 by 24 inch. It's meant for like 8.5 by 11 or like those, A2, whoever, like those smaller papers and smaller. It's not made for how I typically cut. So that wasn't a major selling point to me. I don't use a lot of the heated tools. That's not a major selling point to me. I actually cannot stand the way the 5 is made because of how I load my mats in. The 5, they kind of want you to use the system where you hit the load button and then you're able to like put your mat there or your material, line it up. And because you already hit the load button, once you cover the sensor, it pulls it in. I actually can't stand that because they have a bar in front. But cut wise, they're going to be about the same. It's not like Cricut machines where the Air and the Maker have different features, or the Joy and now like the Joy 2, which you can do print and cut on the Joy 2, but you couldn't on the original one. So it's not like their machines where each machine is giving you different options. Like the Maker has tools that the Air doesn't. The Venture has things that, the Air doesn't. Cameos are not like that. A cameo is a cameo. You can go all the way back to a Cameo 2 or a Cameo 1, and you're going to have the exact same cut features. You're going to be able to use the exact same tools. Nothing changes with that. So it's really up to you and how much you're wanting to spend when it comes to getting a Cameo. They all operate the same. Well, you know what? One of the things that I do not care for about the 5, and I think that's what's probably keeping me from getting it, is they changed print and cut when you're using the 5. It looks more like Cricuts, like the Cricut machine. And it is all L brackets. So I'll take this off real quick. So the old school print and cut, we have a square and then we have 2 L brackets. Now with this, if I wanted to, like I do it quite often, I will have, because I use Epson printers. Epson has the best margins when it comes to printers. Like it has the smallest margin without going borderless, right? So I would normally take up a good majority. Like you can go outside of the registration marks. The machine won't cut it, but if it's just like a small piece, I'm pretty nifty with scissors, so I can just like cut that out myself. And I normally have like a backing for it. And with the backing, you can cut that bigger. So I can like line the backing up and just makes it a little bit easier to cut things out and stuff like that. Like if I want to use an X-Acto knife. So I love this print and cut setup because if I wanted to, I could take the print outside of the registration marks and it still prints. It just won't cut. With the new one, they basically did like the what do people call it? Cricut? Well, the old Cricut, and they made it a full box. So now you're limited. I don't know if they made an update. The last update that I saw, they changed the print and cut to that, and that's a hell's no for me. So if you have to use that type of print and cut with the 5, I will never get a 5. Never, ever, ever. If that is the default for that print and cut, because I cannot. I love this print and cut setup. So for me, print and cut wise, a 4 or lower or earlier works for me. But you can always, look at videos. If print and cut is something that is a major factor for you, because remember, you can print from the Cameo machine, well, from Silhouette Studio without having registration marks on. You can turn them off. You can use Silhouette Studio as just a software to be able to size and print from, and you're not limited. You can take full advantage of the full size of the page. If you're doing print and cut, that is where the issue comes at, where you need the registration mark so that it cuts accurately. Look at some videos and look at how other people are doing print cuts with the 5 to see if that setup is cool with you. If not, I would say go look for a 4. The only thing that you're never going to ever hear me recommend is a 24-inch machine from Silhouette. I'm never, ever, ever going to recommend that anyone ever get a 24-inch machine from Silhouette. Thank you so much for that question. I need to wipe this down. There's something up here that's attracting blacking it to something sweet up on my desk. Okay, so she says, I have the 5 Plus and it has the original registration marks. So far, I like it. And well, you know what? Maybe it's like the new, like one of the releases. So which are you using? Because I know the 4, the 5 Alpha Plus, or the 5 Alpha, which is the 24-inch one, you had to go to V5. And I believe V5 is the one that had one of the early, like the recent ones of V5. Now, when they first came out with the 5, you were able to use one of the later versions of 4.5. Are you using V5 with your Cameo 5, or are you on version 5? And if so, which version of V5 are you on? Did you have any of the other machines, Erica? I just know when they had Silhouette Summit and they were showing those print and cuts, I was like, oh, hell to the no. You're using V5. Okay. So maybe they did change it. I just know when they were that was one of the things that stood out to me. Like I said, I don't have it. Like, and I said, based off of what I saw the last update, they had those squares, and I was like, no, And that was from when they had their big summit in Hawaii. When they were showing that, it was like a full-on box, and I was like, absolutely, hell's no. Absolutely not. Okay, so on this one, I see it's actually no, not the box. What I see on here is it was 4 L brackets. My bad. So the one I'm looking at now is, so Melissa has one and it has the original, but this is from a year ago. I'm looking at someone else's now from 5 months ago, and it has 4 brackets, whereas with this one, you only have, so I normally take full advantage of this area right here as well, and I'm able to like stretch out. Like I take advantage of that area a lot of times, but they have 4 L brackets. That's what it was, because that's how Cricut's on is now. Because I think Cricut even went away from the full box, right? Cricut now has just the L brackets in each of the corners, right? So I'm looking for some more to see. See, all of these are okay, so this was 7 months ago. It has the 4 brackets. Okay, so V5 print cut. This is from a year ago. Let's see. This one is not there, actually. There's really not a lot of videos for V5. Oh wow. I don't really keep up with it because I had no desire. Like, I mean, when I went to 5, it had too many glitches. I have no desire to get a 5 or get to update to V5 on my main computer. It's really, to me, they made cosmetic changes. There's no additional features. There's no additional tools. No tools have been improved. So I was like, there's really no purpose in switching to V5. This is 3 years ago. My video 3 years ago. Wow, there's not a whole lot for, like, a lot of print and cut videos for V5. This one is, come on, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. Wow. 10 years ago, my video 5 years ago. Oh, wow. Let me see. Silhouette. Why is what's the name so short on this? Silhouette Studio 5 print and cut. Let's see. 1 year ago, 5 months ago. Maybe people just put cameos even though they have the 5 and they're not really putting like which cutter they have. Because when I put in print cut of Cameo 5, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's just my search thing, but I'm not getting a whole lot. Okay, so I do see someone here that is clearly using a 5, and I can't tell. Okay, they have the original cut registration mark. So I do see that one. Oh no, that was from 2 years ago though. The original 5 has been out that long. Oh wow. Yeah, I don't see a whole lot. But to be honest, like I said, I feel like so many people are just going to Crickets, and a lot of people don't really care for cameos like that. Okay, so you got one that's wider, but they've had the wider. So did you get the 15-inch or did you get the 24-inch for your Cameo 5? Because that's the thing too, like Cricket gave their different sizes different names. So the Maker and the Air are technically 12-inch, and then their Venture is the 24-inch. Whereas Silhouette Studio, like it's still called a Cameo, it's just like a Cameo. Then you have the Plus, and then you have the Alpha. The Alpha is the 24, the Plus is the 15-inch, and then of course the regular Cameo is the 12-inch. So did you get the Plus or did you get the 24-inch? It used to be called Pro, but then they changed it to Alpha. So you got the 15-inch. So that wasn't the one that I think it's like when you're working with the 24-inch and that one, and when it changed and you had to get the later version of V5. But the 15 inches though, and the 15 and the regular one, they were out and they operate on V4 and like the earlier like V5s, like when that Alpha one came out, you had to go to no, I think they're all called Alpha. What is it called? Is it MK2? Which I didn't understand it was called. It just had a weird name. Alpha might be just a whole new line of them they came out with. But I want to say like the Pro used to be the 24, and then they made it like MK2, some weird off name. But yeah, so getting the 15 like that. If I did get the 5, that is what I planned to get was the 15 just to have wider cutting. But I don't really need it because I print everything to 11 by 17 paper. Um, you know, if I was cutting a lot of HTV, because your standard roll of smooth HTV is 15 inches, so I wouldn't have to like cut it down. Like I could cut from just the roll, but you have to leave an extra inch. They don't have a 15 by 24-inch cutting mat. So the way that the 15-inch mat is set up, it's like it's like either like really like 14 and a half or 14 something by 15 or 15 by 4, but whatever it is, I can't use 11 by 17 paper. That was one of the reasons why I was like, it just really serves me personally no purpose to getting the 15, because everything that I cut fits within the 12. And if I needed to do something wider, I have my Caesar, I have my US cutter, I have my Roland. So it was like, do I really need to spend the money to get that one just to have it on the shelf? Because I functionally had no use for a 15-inch cutter, if that makes sense. And she says, you told me I'm not allowed to get the 24. 24 bad lives rent free in my head. Glad to know that. Hey, long time no see. I saw you in Walmart weeks ago. I didn't get a. Oh, come on. I can't see what it says. My thing is acting dumb. I didn't get a chance to say hey. Well, hello. Even if you just say professor and keep it moving, it's cool. Let's see here. I've been having problems with the print cut with Silhouette Studio. So what I do is, I design the Silhouette Studio, save it, then move it over to Cricut. I do my print cuts because it's less headache that way, more work, less headache, and not waste material. Oh wow, it's already 1:59. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry, I had to let him know to go open the door. But by going to Cricut though, you're limited in size unless like you weren't printing something to a like, you needed a certain size. You're now limited in size going to Cricut. Even with all the stuff that we did, when I came to Atlanta, you're still having all of those issues. And you calibrate it, meaning you put the tape on it to make sure that it's in the right area. Because I know before you had I believe you had a lot of silhouette mats. And y'all know I can't stand a silhouette mat. Wow, that's all of them are acting up. That's crazy. Man. And you had like a lot of fours. You had a lot of fours. Wow. I mean, we now have an extra 4 and we have a red one that someone gave us. But y'all know I love my old school ones. Love, love, love my old school cameos. How do you save as a PDF file? From what program? What program are we talking about? Where are we designing at? The boy said, why can't you lock it? So if you want to save as a PDF, you have to have Business Edition. Do you already have Business Edition? So yes, you have to have Business Edition in order to save as a PDF directly from Silhouette Studio. Now you can use third party. Basically, it's called print to PDF. It will leave a white background when you're printing. Printing. When you are saving as a PDF directly from Silhouette Studio using its internal, like it'll say portable document format, which is what PDF stands for. You can save as a PDF and be able to submit that to companies for DTF prints, things of that nature. Open it up in Photoshop without having to remove the background. But if you use something that is a third party, like print to PDF, that will basically almost do like a JPEG. It'll have a white background on it. If you absolutely need a PDF, you can do that. I used to use, PDF. Shoot. I haven't used it in forever. I think it's like, is it PDF Creator? Oh, I can't remember, because they have like Cute PDF and like all these other ones. Goodness, why I can't think of the one that I used to use. But there are some third parties, and you basically go through the printer function. So you would, once you go, you install in all of those different things. In order to get to it to save as a PDF, you have to go to print, and then you're going to look for it. You're going to look for like whatever that PDF program is, and then you'll go through like the process to save it that way. So that's how you can save it if you don't have Business Edition, but you have to have Business Edition in order to save as a PDF, in order to save as an SVG, a PNG, a JPEG. You have to have Pro. Business edition. I'm sorry, not pro. You have to have business edition. I was thinking about Canva. Let me see. Do I have, is it on here? I haven't used that. I don't think I put it on the new, when I had to redo all of this. I don't think I did it on here. Actually, you know what? You may have it with Windows. I forget. Windows has a PDF, print to PDF as well. So you may be able to use the Windows version of, mine was PDF Creator, but Microsoft has Microsoft Print to PDF. I forget about that. So you can do it that way also. So I'll show it that way. Hold on. Let me cancel. Do you have a Mac or a PC? Because it's going to make a big difference. I can only show you via PC. I don't have a Mac. Because even my PDF Creator, that doesn't work with Macs. And you guys feel free to ask your questions. This is your time where if you can't afford 5365, which is our cheapest one-to-one session, this is your opportunity to ask your specific question and get that answered. So keep the questions coming. You don't have to wait for me to finish one question in order to ask the next. It can be about Silhouette Studio. It can be about Cricut Design Space. I don't have a Cricut machine. I know about Cricut machines. I can still walk you through it. I do have Cricut Design Space. So if you have like a specific question on that, I can always open up Cricut Design Space. I have Photoshop. I use Canva. I don't really use Affinity, but if you have a specific question, I can probably, navigate enough to help you out or get you started in the right direction. If it's about business, branding, pricing, marketing, systems, websites, all those things, feel free to ask your questions. Take advantage of the fact that I'm live, offering up my 26 years of experience and expertise. All right, so let's switch back over to here. And then this one, Shift 7. Oh, I'm on the wrong one here. Okay. So if you don't have it, if you go print, I don't use print preview. Mine is disabled. You disable that in your settings. So mine goes straight to my print settings. Windows has made an update. You no longer really see the old school one until like you have to go like layers deep. Before it would pop up and you just exit out of this. Now you do have to go through this particular window. All right, I'll have to take it over there. Okay, so he's waiting on his package to go swimming with. I got him a full mask, it's like a scuba mask. So because he's afraid to put his face in the water, so it's gonna cover up everything. So he thinks that that's the package. All right, so we're gonna go. Oh, that may have been MJ's monitor, so I probably have to go out there because MJ turned 15 yesterday, and he wanted a new gaming monitor. So, ooh, hopefully he's not in school watching my videos. Ooh. Anywho, so see, now you'll see like once you're on that, and if you hit more settings, now it comes up with the preference. We're going to cancel that. So right here where it says printer, if you scroll all the way up, you'll see Microsoft Print to PDF. And you're going to have to go to more settings depending on the size of like the paper that you're using that you can tell it like what size to print. So we're going to go more settings and then go to advanced, and then you have letter. But if you click on this and then you go down to, oh wait, they've changed. They don't let you change the size anymore since they did the update. Oh, that sucks. they don't let you change the size anymore. Oh, that sucks. You used to be able to go in here and change the size. Like, because this right now is what, 42 inches? They don't let you change it. So you're stuck with tabloid statement, like 4x6, like all these letter legal. Oh, that is so bootleg. That is so bootleg. There's a 17 by 24, 16 by 20, 20 by 30, 16, 12 by 16, 13 by 22. They have removed the ability to pick your size. But if you're doing a standard size, you would choose one of these and then hit OK. And then you would print. I'm just going to hit print just so that you can see what it will do. And it's going to give you this where you'll see PDF and you're just going to title it. So delete me, please. 5, 22, 26. I'm sorry, it's 21. That sucks that they made it where you can't change the size anymore from Microsoft Print to PDF. And so it'll go through like, it'll spool like it was printing. And then I'll show you here. It should be cut off. See, it only gave me that. It did letter size. So it only saved like that one little piece right there. Now, if I go PDF, maybe the Microsoft one never did. Maybe I'm thinking, okay, let's go to PDF Creator. More settings, advanced. Okay, so maybe the what's name one doesn't. Maybe it's just that one because I have more options here. So what I was looking for was PostScript custom page size. So yeah, but I could have sworn Microsoft PDF allows you to do it. So like I would go in here for PostScript and then I can take this all the way up to 200 inches. So I would go ahead and put the 42 and then make this one 18.5 and then go okay, and then okay, and okay, and print, and it will save the whole thing. Oh, it should now come up. Well, now that it's spooled, it should now come up. Well, it will ask me how I want to save it, where I want to save it at. So I'm going to come here. I want to save this on my hard drive, my external hard drive, and delete me 2. And then save it. You hit that, and then I'm going to hit save here again. And now it's going to save it. If you decide to go look for PDF Creator, you have to be very careful. Only click on things that are green, because there are things on that page that will take you to other places that could compromise your computer. So be very careful. Make sure that you're reading everything and don't click on weird stuff. And there's a new version of this. I'll just say, ask me later, because I don't really care. And then I already set it to open, so I don't have to do that. It's still saving. Wait, did I open it? And there's the whole thing. But in Solar Studio, we just go File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive, and Portable Document Format. You don't have to change any type of setting. It will automatically go to that setting, and you'll just title it, and then it will be saved. So if you had Pro, if you keep saying Pro, if you had Business Edition, that's how that would work. All right. So y'all have no question for me. Let me ask some questions. How are you guys doing in business right now? How is business going for you right now? I'll ask some questions. Or side hustle. So don't want you to feel pressured in that you have to have a full-on business. If it's right now just a side hustle for you, that's fine as well. But how is it going for you in your monetization of your creative services, your creative projects and products? How do you feel it's going for you right now? Gearing up for the FIFA event. Wait, who was that? Is that the person that said they saw me here? No, that wasn't you, was it? Okay, no, that was someone else. So I'm in South Florida, and I live right by the stadium, and so we have FIFA here as well. Like, they're gonna start setting up the walls and stuff. I think actually starting this weekend, which is weird to me because it's Memorial Day weekend. It's always popping in South Florida. But which host city are you in? Because I know Atlanta is a host city as well. Are you just selling to people who might be going to it, and you're just promoting a lot of the FIFA items for people just to order from you and have it shipped? Or are you in a city where you have like a vendor's license and you'll create some stuff that's similar but maybe not infringing on copyrights and and then you're selling it? Oh, so you're in Vancouver, Canada. Okay. So I don't know how y'all work up there when it comes to basically selling for different licensed out things. But do people just kind of order stuff for you? Are you making like rags, cups, towels, noisemakers, signs, shirts, flags? What type of items are you making? And then do you just kind of make it where they order it from you, or are you like doing vendor events? Are you doing street selling? Nobody else has anything else going on? No one wants to answer how their monetization endeavors are going in all of, with all of your wonderful creations? T-shirts, I street sell, I have a tent. Awesome. At the end of grad season, and it's been slow on my end. So what are you preparing for? This is one of the reasons, like, I know there's a lot of coaches and teachers, mentors, whatever they want to call themselves, or you guys want to call them, that focuses heavily on like preparing really heavy for these themes and like holidays or certain times, like certain seasons. That's what I'm looking for. I don't do that, because if you put too much focus on it and you don't find some sort of balance, once it slows down, like it's like, okay, you're almost hitting a halt and you have to search for and figure out the next thing, versus that being kind of like your, I mean, you want to take advantage of it, get designs and things for it, but you should still be promoting basically just like, I mean, you're as a business, and still put the things out that it's for birthdays or for retirements or for baby showers or like whatever the event is, you should still be promoting for those things and not just kind of hone in on one. I've never really understood that concept. I guess it works for the instructor, it works for the coach, like it keeps it where they get to kind of talk about certain things. And of course, now they're making people feel like, okay, yeah, you need to jump on this. Like there's times where people say, okay, like memorials, people die every single day. They'll say like, oh, baby shower season. What the hell is a baby shower season? Babies are born every single day. People will have baby showers every single week of the year. Like, I don't understand the baby shower season thingamajiggy. I just don't get that. But hey, it works for some people. I'm more of a, you need to put out what your services are, what you specialize in. If it's birthdays, people have birthdays all the time. If you're doing like retirements, people retire every single, and that's like something that's like not just the weekend. That might be a weekday thing. Unfortunately, people die every single day. Babies are born every day. Like, I don't get the whole operating in seasons. I've never taught that way. I always encourage those who are in my business programs, or even when I'm just giving free information, advice, guidance here, is you are providing a service. Now, what is that service? Are you really, really great at designing to where that is the, like, that's your thing, right? Like for me, people love like how I design, especially for sentimental things, because of how I incorporate different things. If designing isn't your strong suit and you rely on templates, which is not a bad thing, or you're just someone that wants to make merch or just make customized shirts, you don't design it. It's not like, you're kind of getting like customized type templates. You might just have shirts that just say class of 2026, and you got a bunch of transfers in different colors, and you're able to just press that to a shirt. Like that is fine as well when it comes to shirt making. Now that UV DTF is on an uptick, anyone can make a tumbler. You can make a tumbler of strawberries. You're going to get these transfer, like, so you're just providing somebody something that they cannot find in store. Like that is the true advantage of what we do as creatives and being able to make things in-house in smaller quantities. You don't have to get like a large one. This is what I teach to my students so that they are in a position, as long as they're doing what they need to do, you know, they are in a position to make money all the time. Temporarily on hold, had a medical emergency that has me unable to do much for now. Oh, my prayers are with you, Erica. That's what I'm going to do now. That's what I'm doing now. I'm sorry. I'm getting ready to repost some things targeting Father's Day gifts and ideas to show a visual of how a product can be perfect for. It says ... I'm not sure if there was something else after that. I mean, Father's Day is great, but that's still kind of seasonal. I want you to start mixing in some other things as well. If you have some stuff that's for birthdays, for baby showers, for weddings, for bridal showers, for bachelorette parties, bachelor parties, cruises, family reunions, like whatever you can, like start putting those things out there as well. It doesn't matter if the images are from 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. I mean, hopefully, if you know, however you made it there, you could only have gotten better if you were designing it, but you want to still put it out there that, you know, you can make these things. Try not to stick to just one. Now, if you have like special promotions and things of that nature, yes. But if you have not nurtured your audience and like let people know the things that you offer, you know, stores have sales all the time. They'll have, you know, like specific products for certain seasons. Walmart and all them, you know, they have all the Christmas stuff. They have all the fall stuff and the Halloween stuff. Same thing with like Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Any of these stores, but they also have their staples. Like people know to go to this store for X, Y, and Z. If you haven't established your come to me for this, like this is what I do all year round, you should really focus in on that more than just the seasonal stuff, because you want them to know what it is that you can offer, even if it's not a special season. But a lot of you have not put yourself in a position to where people know that you exist and they can come to you 365 days a year. That's what I meant. But some people are only visuals and may feel like an item can only be used as they see it. So by reposting a pillow or a doormat, I can show this would be great for would also be great for a coffee mug, which I also make, or a shirt, etc. I hope I'm making sense. So yes, all right. So from what I hear and you writing it that way is saying like, okay, this would be great for a coffee mug or shirt, right? How I'm processing that in my mind is that you're meaning like a specific design. saying that this particular design does not have to go on just like a doormat. It can go on anything. This is true, right? Like if you're wanting to put, like you have some people who like certain affirmations, or maybe it's a scripture, or maybe it's like, girl power, it's, it's Black power, it's Juneteenth, it's whoever, whatever, right? If you want to be able to utilize this design that you've purchased, you spent money on, because a lot of times we are buying, well, I'm gonna say I buy some templates, but you guys do it a lot more, or you're either designing something and you're only using it one way. So if you spent hours and hours designing on it for just one order, then you're not really getting a lot of bang for your buck on it. It's pretty much you're sitting on money. This is why people will say, sell the digital products, sell the digital products, sell the digital products, because you spent the time doing it. So if you now already have it, somebody else may want that. But a lot of times it does need to be sized in different ways. If it's landscape, like, you maybe have to have different orientations. But that's a lot easier to do once you have the foundational elements. Or if you just happen to purchase something and you can't easily resize it, you want to be able to repurpose it. This is where people start to bundle things up and say, okay, you can get this exact same design on a shirt, a tumbler, a mug, a keychain, and it's the same thing. You're not changing it up, a whole lot. It's the same exact design on all of these things, right? So now this is where you can kind of like bundle them up. You just have to resize them. But you don't have to have that design to let someone know that you make mugs. If they knew that you made mugs, once they ordered that shirt, ordered that doormat, if there's somebody that they like a lot of cups, because there's some people that literally collect cups. They like mugs. They have cabinets full of mugs and cups and things of that nature. If they just simply knew that there's a service that you offered, they may ask, hey, I really like this design. Are you able to put it on the mug? Because I want to take this to work. But when you guys are waiting to for a certain season, or waiting to show a specific design on these different things, they don't know what you can make. But if you're just showing, even if they're just random things, and hey, I've made all of these custom mugs that have people's pictures on it, that have logos on it, that have organizations on it, that have scriptures and just words. If it just says bride, if it says groom, if it says whoever, whatever, and you're just putting these things out, you also make mugs. So when I have an idea for a mug, I'm going to ask about it. If I order something else, hey, I remember I saw a post, you made one. I know it said bride. Are you able to put this design on a mug? You'll be surprised at how much they inquire. At least for me, my folk be quick to call me, hey, Kia, can you XYZ? Because I'm constantly putting out just a wide variety of things, when they have an idea of something that they consider to be custom, I'm going to be their first call. Hey, Kia, is this even possible? Can you do it? Do you know where I can go get this done? If you don't do it, they trust my recommendations as well. But if you're not putting things out there, then no one knows what you're doing. We go over this in my creative business program, and I'm showing ways to put them out there. Even if you don't have a website, you don't have to have a website to get started and be successful, to even make six figures, since y'all like those numbers and things like that. You just have to have effective systems. And that's one of the things that we go over. Tonight, we have a session for the creative business program. So it does make sense, but I don't want you to feel like you have to make certain, if you have any type of cups, make you some creative posts just showing the cups. Make a reel. You can use Canva for it, where you have all these pictures of cups that you've made, and it's kind of doing a little slideshow of the different mugs and things like that. Show different keychains that you've made. Show different shirts, collages, or not collages. What keep you saying collages? Screen slideshows. There we go, of different shirts and different things that you made. If it's a card, if it's fans, if it's whatever it is, you guys are not utilizing your social media to really showcase the things that you are able to make. You're waiting for specific seasons. And I want you to, I don't care if it's something for fall, show it right now. If you had Christmas cups And if Christmas was the only time that you made a lot of mugs because of like hot cocoa and like, when it got cool, that's when you were making mugs because people think hot cocoa. And maybe you sold them with hot cocoa. People drink we drink hot cocoa all year long. We drink tea. People get sick, things of that nature. So it doesn't matter when you made it, what's on it, like put it out there. I don't care if it's a mug from 2020, if it's a mug from 2019, put it out there so that they know that you are one to make mugs. Maybe they didn't have a need for it. Maybe now somebody else has a business and they want to be able to have some customized things, but they don't know that you do it. And this is where sometimes crafters get upset with friends and family or even like loyal or longtime customers because maybe they came to you for all this other stuff. They opened up a business or they needed cups for a party or whoever, whatever. And then you go on social media and you see that somebody else made the cups. And don't lie, be honest with yourself. Some of y'all getting your feelings a little bit. Well, dang, why they ain't come to me? They could have gave that order to me. I could have used that money, But if you never put it out there that you made these in any capacity, how do they know? As creatives, as crafters, there's so many things that we are able to make. I mean, some things you have a few blanks on, but you know where to go find more if you need it, and things of that nature. So you have to start putting those fillers out and putting those things out. If you only have done one mug, but that's something that you're interested in, every couple of days, every couple of weeks, every couple of months, put that same mug in some type of content, make some type of post around it, and just keep promoting with that same one mug until you get your next order. So now that you have another order, well, now you can make stuff with both of them in there. I mean, yes, you can make mock-ups and just kind of create a bunch of different mock-ups. That's a lot of work to go in there, trying to find a design, make a mock-up when you already have something done. I promise you, it is okay to keep using that same mug over and over and over again. When it comes to commercials, we like to go and compare ourselves to big brand companies. They have a commercial where it's the same commercial that's showing 30,000 times. They don't always feel like they have to have a brand new commercial every single day, every single week. They paid out that money for that director, that camera time, the actors, the models, the clothes, the setup, the this. They're going to get their money's worth. And that commercial is going to play over and over and over again. I'm not sure why it is with small businesses and startup businesses, we feel like, oh, you have to constantly keep showing people something new because you feel like, oh, well, they're going to keep seeing the same thing on my page. If you're on here for business, hey, if they've seen it and they haven't purchased it, they're probably never going to purchase it, or they probably don't need it right now. And when they need it, because they've seen it so much, they're going to come to you. But you guys have to stop being afraid to literally post over and over and over again, even if it's the same thing. This is literally what the $1 million and $1 billion companies do. We can't make it harder on ourselves. We're already lacking in capital and resources. There's no sense in making business harder for yourself. Spending money that you don't have to do things that are not necessary. Taking time to create and reinvent the wheel for so many things when it's not necessary. Just repurpose what you have. If content and having things to promote, you feel like, well, I don't have enough. If you have pictures, you have enough. You can literally repurpose that. Take this time to learn how to repurpose it using Canva, using AI, and making it, doing different types of setups for it, and just keep putting that content out. You have enough. You're just stuck for the business side of it. You're stuck in the crafter mindset where you want everything to be new. And this is not just for you, Shayla. This, trust me, it's a lot of them on here that's going through that. That's what's going through their head, and they're not even saying anything. They like to come on here. They say, oh, they love what I say and all that stuff, but I don't get any feedback. Never, amen, that's good. That applies to me. I'm the same way. I'll never get it, but I know they're saying it. So know that that's for everybody who's listening. Because the numbers are grown, which means y'all are still on. So that means that they are sending it out to more people because the numbers are growing. So y'all are sitting here, y'all absorbing it. Y'all just not letting me know that it's beneficial to you. Or it might be some folk on here that just watching and they're going to take my teaching and go teach it in their classes or on their platform. Like there was a point where, I get on and I'm literally saying the same thing over and over and over again about like, it's like talking about like Canva for systems. When it came to even just showing like what I was doing, I was purposely showing the same things over and over and over again. I'm not on here to give free lessons because then I don't make money. If I learned that the hard way through the silhouette stuff. So even now I try and figure out what to show, what not to show. I don't care if I do like a bunch of tracing videos, like I'll show me tracing the same exact thing. I can do it on live. Whoever's on, they catch it and I can delete it because there is one that shows the process. But I've done that before. I get on and I literally don't talk. I don't really deviate too much. And I talk about the same things over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, because it's for the new ears, the new eyes that don't know these things. And it's just to also reiterate, people need to hear things a certain number of times. I forget. It's always different numbers. Sometimes as people say 8 times, sometimes people say 16, sometimes they'll say 20 plus times that someone needs to hear something before they take action. And there's no telling, because I mean, I've had things where I've taken immediate action. I didn't need all that. Like if I know if I want it, like it don't even really take all of that. So I just think I think those are just like numbers that people and matrix that people kind of put out there, especially coaches and mentors, but sometimes don't take all of that. But you want to just keep repeating the same thing. And I've done that so that people know that I teach Canva. When I was doing silhouette or if I'm doing sublimation, I don't do it anymore, but I was on here all the time showing the same stuff over and over and over again when we were advertising our sublimation paper. That's what you have to do for your business. Whatever live video you did, you're like, I want to go live again. Talk about the same thing. Prepare to do the same exact stuff that you did on the last live, because you'll probably get new eyeballs. Last call for questions. I don't want to kind of stay on. If you guys, I come on here to help you guys. When y'all don't ask questions, it kind of seems pointless to be on, because I literally come on here to be able to help you guys and answer your questions and things of that nature. So so this person is like, okay, so I'm going to tell y'all the situation. She's like, I pressed Tuesday. Okay, so someone said, so I did a power cleaning and it says 12 hours. Is it really necessary? Because I printed and tried to press and stole and it wouldn't transfer. If ink comes, this is the thing I need for people to understand. If ink comes out, you printed something out and ink is on the paper. Now I can see, because she didn't say that it didn't print. She said it wouldn't transfer. If full on ink is on the paper and it does not transfer, you are pressing it, right temperature, right time, right pressure. The ink is normally the issue. And she's like, oh, I've done this before. I just pressed something on Tuesday. But she also said that she changed out, or she refilled her ink about a week ago. Here's the thing that people understand. So let's say you put the ink in there. When it comes to these EcoTank printers, they have ink in the lines, right? You'll have ink at your print head. So if you put it in a week ago, but maybe you were not printing a whole lot, so now you go on Tuesday to go print, you may have residual ink from before, and that is what's coming out, and that is what is pressing. Because it's not like when it comes to the cartridge-based ones, once you go and you change out your cartridges, it automatically does a print head cleaning to kind of flush things out, whatever. When it comes to your EcoTank printers, you can really fill those and never have to really do a print head cleaning. So it might be some residual things on there. She's like, she printed out on Tuesday and it transferred. But my whole thing is like, I'm trying to help you because all this other stuff that people are saying, it has nothing to do with the power cleaning. People do power cleanings for the dumbest reasons ever. If you have a clear, like you have all of your lines for your nozzle check, there's no reason to do a print head cleaning. Print head cleanings are not going to make it where it transfers now. That has nothing to do with it, right? So it's like print head cleanings are only to clear out if colors mix together or if you have missing or broken lines. A power cleaning should only be done if you were missing significant lines, a color was completely missing, and after a few, like maybe 2 print head cleanings, it didn't, it's gonna put a little bit more power through those print heads or those channels, and hopefully it fixes it. But if it's printing out and it's not transferring, you have to look at your ink. A lot of the times, like especially for something that came from Amazon, they could easily mislabel things. This is literally happened. Like I am someone that has been teaching, that has been helping people, answering questions, people on my phone. We're going through, I'm looking at the ink. I'm walking you through troubleshooting steps. Like, so everything that I'm telling her is to test this, test that. If you did it on that one stove and you haven't tried anything else, asking the question isn't going to help you any because you haven't identified where the issue is. When you're troubleshooting, you have to go through different steps. So I said, if it printed and it did not transfer, then that is not sublimation ink. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts around that, okay? If you have sublimation ink, you don't have to have sublimation paper. You can print it on regular paper. Technically, sublimation ink transfers to cotton. The things that absolutely will not transfer is dye ink. Because if you put pigment ink and you go to heat it up, you're going to at least see a yellow blob. You're going to see a yellow blob. If it's dye ink will not transfer in any way, shape, or form. If when you printed it out, that color looked the true color, that is not sublimation ink. Like, so I'm going through the steps like to troubleshoot. So I'm like, okay, if you pressed it and it did not transfer, I'm saying like check your temp and time. But even at the wrong temperature, you're going to have some transfer. If your heat press is starting to not, like, unless your heat press is gone cold, and even though you have it to 400, maybe it's only outputting less than 300. This is why you have to keep a heat gun. If it's outputting nowhere near 400, okay, I can see it barely transferring. But if it's just as hot, your heat press, you haven't established any issues with that, which is why I made the suggestion to her, press to something else. If this stole, like I said, I mean, it's very rare because I don't know of any stoles that are cotton and not sublimation. If there was something with the stole, press it to something else. I'm pretty sure anybody that does sublimation, you got a messed up shirt somewhere. Okay. You should have, if you don't have it, you should have some scrap fabric. When it comes to, if you don't have scrap fabric, I suggest you go to the fabric section of Walmart, or you're going to go to the newly fabric section of Michael's, or go to Hobby Lobby, or go to any place that sells fabric and go get you some 100% polyester. You can even get you some 80%, 85% polyester. But when doing sublimation, you have to have scrap fabric, or you can go into any of the stores, go into the craft section, and you can get felt. Felt is recycled plastic, which is polyester. This gives you something to test. If you press to one thing, it's not working, you have to go through the process of elimination. You have to press it to something else. This lets you know, is it this substrate? And if it's now not transferring to both, let's go down the line and check off and see what all the things that we need for sublimation. Let's go ahead and check those off. All right. First thing I was going to say is check the ink. What does it look like when you print it out? If you can clearly see, the number one indicator is yellow ink when you do a nozzle check. If you can clearly see your yellow ink, it is not sublimation. I'm letting y'all know that right now. If you don't have to strain to see it, 9 times out of 10, it ain't sublimation ink, because that will come in very, 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 very light. Look at your bottles. Inspect your bottles. Look at the color of the ink, because dye ink and sublimation ink look totally different. Hopefully you didn't make a mistake and put a little bit of dye ink in there on accident. Dye ink will counteract sublimation ink. I've done live videos. I've done this experiment. I've gone and I've mixed dye ink in with sublimation ink to show that it kills it. It will not transfer if enough dye ink is mixed in with your sublimation ink. You could get bad ink, especially if you got it from like some of these places on Amazon. People are always looking for the cheapest option. There's bad sublimation ink. You can have a bad batch. It could be from a company where you've gotten great batches before. This may have been a bad batch, and they're not always testing their inks. So you want to go make sure that you're double, triple checking it, print it out. You want to look and see how that nozzle check is printing out. If those colors are too bright, baby, that ain't sublimation. Take that nozzle check. If it's sublimation, you can take that nozzle check. You don't have to waste a design and do all this. You can take that nozzle print and you can press it to something. If that doesn't transfer, it's not sublimation ink. Or if you wanted to go like the next step, this is where you test your heat press. Make sure that it's outputting where sublimation will transfer. But if you're saying it's not transferring at all, it can't be sublimation. Now, if it's barely transferring, so we went through this whole thing because so she got mad at me. She's like, I keep telling you, I just pressed Tuesday, which means it's sublimation. So please stop saying if it's sublimation ink. I am telling you, you have to be certain, because if it's no transfer, I don't care if your bottle says sublimation ink. You need to go get a refund. You need to now drain your lines. It ain't sublimation ink. Like, I don't get it. How do people ask for help? Girl, check my resume, okay? I know what I'm talking about, okay? And I hate people say this. I'm not new to this. As if you can't make a mistake. As if Amazon, or whoever you ordered from, if they can't make a mistake. I'm not calling you dumb or silly like you're new to this. Things happen. Like, you came on the internet looking for help, girl. So I was just like, so I saw, because in the first post it says it wouldn't transfer. Then it was, and then all these people saying you won't be able to print. Not true, because you'll still be able to print. They don't recommend it because you've put so much ink through it. And this is the thing that I'm constantly telling you guys about these EcoTake printers. They are not meant for heavy loads. When you look at their print cycle or the recommended number of prints, it is lower than some of the other printers because it's not meant for that, because of the air, because it's going through these lines and they don't have a lot that's really sucking it up. So when you go and you do all of that, it has to settle back down, which is why they tell you to wait 12 hours. And they also want you to do that because once you're doing all of these prints, sometimes like it'll print the first one, but then you won't get a print after that, right? But she's put in another one, she was like, it barely transferred. So that's why I said, that's okay. In another comment, you said that it barely, in a previous comment, you said it barely transferred. Is it just, I said, is it just to the stole you have, is it just to the stole, or have you tried another blank? And she said she didn't. That's like troubleshooting 101. You have to try something else. You can't go, y'all will start to panic. I get this so many times from crafters where the moment something does not work, if something doesn't cut or whatever, you start to panic off of the first one. You don't think to let me test something else. Let me see if it's the paper. If it's something cutting wrong, let me change out the blade. Let me change out the mat that I'm using. y'all go straight to panicking and like something is wrong. And sometimes it's as simple as turning your mat. And I try to go over as many troubleshooting things as possible. Like I've been giving y'all troubleshooting tips. Y'all should have books. Like if you're not going to sign up for my classes, if you go through some of those videos, I've given you enough game to where if you had you a book that was just the professor's rules of the game, and like you're putting the troubleshooting, like the steps that I'm saying for troubleshooting, everything from cutting machines to printing to like all of the above, you'll be set and you can go back to them. But so I'm like, did you try? She's like, no, I did not, because it was just working on Tuesday. Girl, today ain't Tuesday. Okay. It ain't Tuesday. Today, well, when she wrote it, it was yesterday. Wednesday, it wasn't working. Okay. No matter what happened on Tuesday, Wednesday, it wasn't working. So now you need to go through the troubleshooting steps. And I'm trying to help you through the troubleshooting steps. So I'm about to exit stage left because obviously she wants people to lie to her. So it's whoever, whatever. Just brought a roll of fabric. You have to. If you are doing sublimation, please keep you some fabric on hand. Hey, Jackie. Okay, question. Why are all of my PNG images coming in with a red outline, and once the color is removed, it has a slight white outline? I'm using version 5. I think that's the correct one. So there is no correct one. You're on V5. What most likely happened is you have auto PNG trace turned on. Whenever you have auto PNG trace turned on, it actually changes it and it converts it into a JPEG, which is why you're seeing white around it, because what the image probably wasn't like super clear and didn't have like clear defined edges. So it removed it. When it's a PNG, you're seeing it's all those edges are transparent. So you're seeing, the background and it looks going to be transparent. But this is why when you go to cut it, sometimes you see the extra white. But when you're using the auto PNG trace, one of the reasons why I say do not use it and always manually trace is because it puts a white background on that PNG no matter what. And it's not always the greatest results. So turn off, and I'll go to the page and I'll show you how to turn off. If you're not familiar how, if you're at your computer, go to the settings and verify if what I'm saying is true. I be telling you, look, ain't much that y'all can ask me that I haven't experienced and done, and I know exactly where the problem lies. Okay. Uh-oh, shoot. Didn't mean to have that on screen. Dang it. Okay. All right. So if you go down here to the settings and you go to import, this right here, auto PNG trace. So I'm going to do this. So I know I have let's go to downloads. And okay, so here's one here. And we're going to drag this in, right? Now, we double click on it. It's still a box. There's no outline around it. I'm going to go over here. We're going to go to import. We're going to go ahead and make this auto trace. We're going to apply and hit OK. I'm going to bring in that exact same image, and you're going to see the difference in how that is set up. Okay. So we'll hit OK. We're going to come back over here, and I'm going to drag and drop this same one in. So you can see here, when I drag and dropped it in, did that come in way smaller as well? So let me go back to here. We're going to go import, take off auto trace, hit OK. I know I did make it bigger, but did it come in that small too? Okay, yeah, it did come in that small. All right, but here with the auto PNG trace, it has a red outline. We double click. It does have the edit points around it. But if I were to take this and extend it, guess what? It has now turned this into a JPEG, and there is white. If I come over here, there is no white for one. Now I'm going to go ahead and simply trace and detach this just so that it has the same edit points. So we're going to go over here to trace, select trace. I love this question. Thank you so much for asking that question. I've been telling y'all, no question is too small. Like, ask the questions. This is going to be a great learning moment for those who have never heard me talk about don't ever use auto PNG trace. This is going to be great for them. So we're going to go trace and detach. Now, with auto PNG trace, anywhere there was an opening, it gave you the cut line. So like in here, it gave us, it's opened up in there. But when you're doing trace and detach only does the outside edge. So we're going to move this out of the way, and you can see there's no cutout in between his arm. If we double click on this, we have the edit points around, but not here. You have to do an extra step for that. Before I go to that step, I'm going to double click on this, and I'm going to click on one of these. I'm going to pull it out. You see, it is still transparent. Up here, it changed it to white. This is why I always say, I know for some, they feel like, oh my God, it's just so convenient. It's just, it already does it for me. It's not going to be the best. If you ever have to like modify, do certain things, you are now turning this into a JPEG where you're going to have white compared to it still being a true PNG. This is what, again, this is why I say, don't use it. Don't use auto PNG trace. It's not a PNG anymore. Doesn't matter which version you're using. All right, so now to remove this area, you would do a secondary trace. Just in that area, we're going to go trace. You're going to click on that trace. You should know because it is a small area. We're going to fill this in with some color. We're going to release compound path, hold down shift, click on that middle part to deselect it, hit delete on our keyboard. Then you're going to drag and select, modify and subtract. Now we have cut lines in between it, and it is still a PNG. We were to do this one in the middle. It's white. You can literally see the white part around it. So this one wasn't like the greatest image, so you can end up seeing the white. She says, and this is why I pay for your classes. It was selected, as you said. Trust me, I know. When you went to version 5, they like to make that a default, which is why in my classes I teach, I go like that first day, I'm going through settings. We're going to change this, 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 and this. Once you went to V5, it probably changed all of your like selection settings as well. And they're all probably on continue drawing and continue da-da-da-da. All of that normally changes to what Silhouette deems as the best default, but their defaults suck. People come for me when I talk about Silhouette, and I'm like, they make bonehead decisions and certain things suck. And how am I going to tell these people about their company because it's stupid and it sucks? I'm sorry. But I know this is also why I'm not very tactful with it, because it's like when I was being tactful, y'all didn't listen. Y'all keep making bonehead decisions off of like some foolishness. So now I just say how I feel, and it's dumb. It's stupid. Been saying for years, this PNG trace is inefficient. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do. So why are we not improving that? So now I'll just speak my mind. There's a lot of things they have on here that's just dumb. Dumb. And I don't care. They're not cutting me a check. And they're probably not cutting me a check because I'm a little bit too honest. And for anyone, that was the question. What is that whole tirade about? I like questions like that. And I don't, for some reason, y'all aren't giving me a lot of Silhouette questions anymore. So I only went up because I think I had a virus or something with the older version, which I loved. you can always go back down. So unless you were on the very, very like highest version of 4.5, you can always go down. Now that you've gone up, you can uninstall that and you can go back down to one of the 4.5 versions. I mean, mine was 4. Well, no, for the longest I was in 4.3.370. I think now mine is 4.5.9 or 571.971.791. But there is another one, like there's like 2 or 3. Hold on, let's see how many are there. Let's see. SilhouetteAmerica.com. Yeah, I was on 4.3.370 for a while. I forget why I had to change. Oh, because I did a class and I needed to be at least on 4.5 for the class that I was doing, just to make it easier for everyone that was like coming into the class. So I had to go to 4.5, but 4.3.370, I'm always saying, like, if you don't have certain machines, it's going to be the most stable version. If you don't have a Cameo 5 Pro, you don't have to go to V5. But we're going to go software. We're going to go Silhouette Studio. And then when you come here to legacy versions, see, I have this one. They have 1, 2, 3 more before you go into version 5. So if you were on like either 4.3.37, like if you're way down here on 4.3 and that's the one that messed up, you could have gone to any of these. But I guess maybe I'll put out more on that because some people forget, because they keep changing their website, they'll forget how to get to legacy. So a lot of the times what happens is people have issues with their system, and when they go to re-download it, they just come to software and they will download whatever is the current version that they are showing. Like they'll just come here and they'll just immediately hit Windows or Mac. But right here is legacy version, and you always want to go there to look at old versions. And if you don't want V5, go to one of these. So you can still go back. You just have to uninstall V5 and then go back to one of these. So, but that's why it's important to know exactly which version you're on. Always go to about and see which version you are on so that you know what your options are. She's like, I think that's what I did. You just went there and just downloaded whatever the current was at that time. Yeah. So go to legacy, go to the other ones. If you don't remember which one you had, I would say just go to version 4.5.815. That's the last one. Or you can try and go to this one, 4.5.812. If this one has issues, you can go to this one. If you don't want to see the new look and the new layout of Silhouette, you can go to this one. I mean, you can go to this one. This one right here. But I'm here. Yeah, the only reason why, that was the reason why. So when it comes to your business edition and things of that nature, to activate it, 4.3 and lower, you have to physically put in the upgrade code. 4.4 and higher, you don't. You just go help, and then it's like apply upgrade edition, and you log in, and whatever is on your account, it will apply it to it. So that is one of the reasons why it was that and something else. I forgot, it was something else that I forced myself to go to 4.5 because all of 4.4 sucked. That entire series of 4.4, to me, none of them worked. But some people were forced to use it because of the machine that they had. But that 4.4 error, every last version of 4.4 absolutely, and I have a gaming computer, and they suck balls. I'm sorry. And maybe it's just because I do a whole lot, like I have a whole lot of graphics. If you're not doing a whole lot, normally I'm working on multiple designs, multiple orders, multiple classes. So I have a whole lot up here. And when I say it could not handle what let me see, I think this one has a lot of, like, all of the graphics that are on here, 4.4 could never handle. Like, this is a lot of graphics. Like, if I pull this apart, and mind you, these are all individual. Like, all of these little starlights, I put those on there. I don't know if y'all can see it. I put those on there myself. So this is all data. Like, all these little things, all of this, their shadows, the name, the crown. Well, that was like a fade bar that was on there, the name, this, the back. Oh, there was another overlay, the background. Like, oh, there's another one. So I have a lot of graphics, and 4.4 didn't work for me. So there might be some that's like, oh, I have 4.4, it works for me. I don't know what type of graphics you work with, but I work with a lot of like all of these, that's data. Like, all of these little starlights, like, that's all data, and that will bog it down. So 4.4 never worked for me. And V5, I can't stand the way that it looks. So I don't have any plans to go to V5 other than, well, I have it on a laptop because I wanted to do classes on it, which I'm like, are people not using? There isn't even a lot of YouTube videos on it. So I don't know if I would be wasting my time trying to, put together a class for it, because there aren't even a lot of YouTube videos for it. Actually, let me go ahead and close these out. Oh, this was a recovered one. I don't need this. Well, I'll hit okay, but that's a recovered one. I don't need that one. I do need to save this because I never saved it before. Save as, save to hard drive. Zion Imani fan. Yellow and green. And like the fact that this is here, that means there's a whole lot over yonder. Like, I keep a lot open, and the version you have makes a big difference. That explains why I was having such a terrible time using the software on my PC. I was using 4.4. I was temporarily on a PC because my Mac needed replacing. Yeah. 4.4 suck balls. Oh my gosh. I hated it. I hated it. I wonder if she's gonna have me do a shirt for her for this year. I haven't heard anything. We only have maybe we still have like 2 weeks left of school, so I'll probably hear from her next week. I've done her end of the year shirts for the past 4 years, 5 years. Put them babies back in an envelope and return to sender. They are yours for the summer. It kept crashing because I used a lot of high resolution graphics at one time. Yep. It was, for some, it would support, like if you're just doing like SVGs, you don't have a whole lot of text, you don't have a lot of high resolution graphics, but 4.4 was like it could not handle it in any way, shape, or form. All right, I don't know what's taking that so long, so we'll come off of that. Questions, comments, concerns. Take advantage, people. No question is too big or too small. Dang, I had that much stuff open. Jesus Christ. Jeepers creepers. Does your computer operating system also affect Silhouette Studio Windows 10 versus 11? It's been a minute since I've been on Windows 10. Okay, it can, depending on the type of computer that you have. Like, what is your memory like? What is your graphics card like? What what is your hard drive space? So a lot of the times when you are updating to, like, let's say like going from Windows 10 to Windows 11, that's an operating system, and it can leave little pieces of like 10 still on there, and now it's like taking up so much space. So always pay attention to where your hard drive is, like before any updates, before I like click to hit an update. I always take a look at my hard drive and see how much space is there, so that I now know once it does the new one, because it'll tell you, okay, you need this much hard drive space, because it needs that to be able to put it on there, run through everything. And sometimes it will overwrite what's there, and then you'll see it adjust back down. If it doesn't, then you need to go through and kind of clean out those old caches, clean out like that old memory of the old operating system, because you don't need that, but it's taking up space. So when people are like, well, I'm not saving a whole lot to it, why is my computer running slow? We have to remember that anything that you put on the computer is also taking up that hard drive space. So hard drive space is not just for the things that you save. So if you have a lot of programs, if you have Photoshop, oh baby, you're taking up a whole lot of space. If you are saving to your, like, you're saving all these Photoshop files, it's taking up a lot of space. When you have Photoshop open and you have, like, you're working on designs, that in that moment while you have it open, it's taking up space. And you'll notice, like, if you look at your hard drive space when you have a design open, like a Photoshop file open, once you close it, it will reduce, like, it'll go back down. But when you have it open, it's taking up that storage space on there. So if, like, go in, remove old games. Like, if you're someone that doesn't play the games and stuff, look and see if those things were downloaded on there and they're taking up space. There's a lot of programs and things that when you're first setting up, they're automatically on there and you don't need them, and they're taking up hard drive space. It's not just your files, it's not just the pictures and things of that nature. So I can't really say it's a Windows 10 to Windows 11 thing. For some programs, making that change does affect it. And so once Windows makes a change, the third party or like whatever the program is, this is why they have some of these updates, because they now have to adjust to the new operating system. Windows may have changed how you access certain things, how certain things maneuver. I had issues. I mean, with one of the things I did, like just in like the print settings and stuff like that. So they will have to create patches. They'll have to create updates so that it's compatible with the new version. They don't consult each other on, well, hey, these are the changes that we're making to the operating system. A lot of times they have to wait until the operating system update happens. Now their engineers and their programmers their coders are going to go in there and figure out what they have to do in order to adjust to the new operating system. So that is a case-by-case situation depending on the computer that you have. I use the manual blade in everything. Yes, it is an option on the 5 Plus because that does come with the adapters. But yes, you have the option for a manual blade on the 5. You just have to have the proper adapter. So it's going to go to it no matter what. But it has an adapter for it that goes in there. And that is how it knows which blade you have in. So you can't just put the manual blade. It has to go in the proper adapter. And when you put it in there, it automatically detects that it is a manual blade because of the magnet strips on the back. Why I prefer it is because it does the manual blade, the auto blades, they do not cut efficiently. They don't put enough pressure down. And I can't stand all that goddamn on tapping. I hate it where if I'm cutting the same, like I do a lot of repeat jobs. I can have an order for 20 fans, for 12 fans, for 6 fans. I have a lot of repeat things. Or even if I'm doing a lot of stickers, they might be different orders, but I'm still doing like a lot of sticker cuts and things of that nature. I'm not switching material. I'm still using, I might still be using the same cardstock, or I might be using the same vinyl. I'm still cutting like HTV. If I'm doing a bunch of shirts or doing like different cuts and stuff, when you have the auto blade, even though it's the same exact setting, it's going to tap. It's going to start all over. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. Why you got to tap every single cut? That is the most annoying ish in the friggin' world. I'm not changing settings. I ain't got want it to cut. I like on this one, I like repeat job. I hit repeat job. I don't have to come to the computer. It's going to cut. With those other ones, it got the tap, 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 tap. Ugh, it makes my skin crawl. Makes my skin. I hate that damn tapping. She says, LOL, I use my original portrait for most of my work, so that tapping I haven't gotten used to. You'll never get used to it. Get you a manual blade. I'm telling you, you should have the adapter. Hold on. Let's go to machines. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Oh, you know what? I just noticed you might be right. Something just said go on here to their. Okay, let's go back to this. You know what? My bad. Again, I know I'm definitely. Oh, baby. If that's the case, I am definitely never, ever, 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 ever. If it happens to be sent to me, so be it. But baby, I am never buying a Cameo 5 now. Oh my God. Thank you so Erica, thank you. Because okay, and I don't even think you can even look up the the old machines. Okay. So let's say we go here, right? You're gonna go in here and you're gonna see okay, wait, let's see. See, they have the pen holders. I was looking at what's in the box, and see, now we can't even see the Cameo 4 to know what's in. Even though this looks like the Cameo 4 still. As far as like what comes in the box, it says AutoBlade 2 adjustment tool. Don't know what adjustment tool is. Roll feeder, pen adapter, cutting mat, da da da. So, but when you look at this, it may not come in the box, but you should still be able to use it because it uses the AutoBlade 2, which is the same AutoBlade that the 4 uses, which means these plates are made the same way. I think they just no longer included in the box. And what I mean as far as like what's included in the box would be, let's go to accessories. Okay. Their website is weird. You can't just click on accessories and support rollers. No, dust. Okay, show all accessories. Okay. Okay. All right, maybe it's under tools and mats, AutoBlade, manual blade, pen holders, see, okay, tool adapter set. The other one said tool adapter. The what is it? See, when you go here, unless it says adjustment tool. So they just have the pen adapter. I hate the fact that you can't even, like, they don't even show you anything about the 4. Like, that's the part that I don't get because that's still one of your machines. So I don't get it. But with the, let's see, with the A, sketch pen, adapters, cutting mat, so they no longer put them in the box. But see, at least on this one, when it says compatible blades, it shows you the tool adapter. They just no longer, obviously, they no longer include it in the box. But see, on this one, compatible blades, it shows this. If I go to, I'm going to go to machines and I'm going to go to the plus. That one for blades, it doesn't show it, but it should still. So like, see, it shows rotary blades, heat pins. I don't know if it's just because they, like with your website, you tell it how many things like you want. Like let's say they're showing, this is a collection. You tell it like how many products do you want to show like on a row. Kind of like the same thing like we would do in Shopify. So I'm not sure if because, you know, they have the pin holder, they're showing it this way. I don't know why you can't like see all of the options. But it doesn't hurt to try. Like I would say get the pay. You can get it from Amazon as well, but it's $4.99. And get the adapters. I guess they just don't put them in, like I said, they don't put them in the box anymore. But these adapters right here is what you will need. And the gray one, I think the black one is for the manual blade. Incredible afternoon. Welcome in. We are answering questions, so feel free to ask any questions that you may have, whether it's Silhouette related, Cricut related, Caesar, if it's sublimation, DTF, print and cuts, fans, graduation, business, marketing, websites. This is an open pro call, kind of like a pro call session. But yeah, so let me see. Am to the Zon. It's gonna take a while. I guess you get, is it that you're getting 2 sets? And this one says free delivery. You probably got to pay delivery from what's name, so it might come out to be the same. But this is the adapters that you need, even though it says 4. Those are the adapters that you would need. I guess only one company sells the adapters now. It used to be more than one company that had these adapters. Is that Silhouette America? Is only one company. Yeah, this one is from the Silhouette America store. So they do have it. They're charging $12.99 on here because Amazon take a whole lot of. So it's definitely cheaper on their website. I just don't know what that shipping will be. Shipping is free on here. But it says like a 2-week before. I used to get this like this. I got this before like next day, or 2-day shipping or whatever. So, okay. So let's see if there's anyone that said that they returned this because it doesn't work with the 5, because it says it was frequently returned. So let's look at reviews. Let's see if there's anyone that has purchased it and they said that it doesn't work. Let's see. Okay, so this works with the CB09 blade. Uh-oh. Now, nobody told you to go back. Okay, hold on, because I can get to it straight from here. Oh, I should leave a review. It's 364. I should be number 365. Okay, so Makes it possible to use the CB09 blade with the Cameo 4, but only one brand fits the adapters. Let's see. Feels cheap, but baby, they not cheap because I don't had the same one for years. I haven't had to replace mine. So look, so I have a Cameo 5. I ordered the sketch pens, not realizing that I needed an adapter to use them. I waited a while to buy the adapter set because I was annoyed that the machine or the pens didn't come with it. Now that I have the adapters, I can finally use my sketch pens and they work well. So overall, I am annoyed that this is needed, but okay. So that's the thing that's interesting to me because they sell a sketch pen adapter which looks different from this. Like their sketch pen adapters look like the original sketch pen adapters, but I think the white one or one of those was like 4 sketch pens and stuff like that. So I'm not sure, but she says with the 5, hers work. Now with that 5 Plus, I'm looking to see if there's anyone that had the 5 Plus. Why would these work with the Cricut machine? If this is for baby, you know what? Go buy. Have several seats. I was trying to see if anyone had a Cameo 5 Plus. I see a Cameo 5. Okay, wait. The Cameo 4 adapter set is supposed to fit the Cameo 5. The black, gray, and blue fit in carriage 1 on the Cameo 5 and works perfectly. The white adapter for the craft blade, however, had a different design on the back and did not fit in either carriage 1 or 2 on the Cameo 5. The newer fat silhouette pins with the ring collar work perfectly in the blue adapter, but the old fat pins have no collar and will not work in the adapter. They slide up. So you can't use it for the craft blades because that's supposed to go into carriage 2. But for the Cameo 5, I guess they made that differently and the slots are different, but you should be able to use it for everything else. The white adapter, but that is for pins. The manual blade, it's going to still work. Oh, wait. No, right here. This was in 2025. They don't work with the Cameo 5 Plus. I've tried everything and just doesn't fit the tool 1. It moves while working. Unfortunately, I can't send it back. Ooh, do you have the 4? You never had the 4 to try the adapters in there? So someone here is saying that it didn't work, but sometimes that be user error. Because I can't see why would they make the 5 Plus blade carriage? Because why would they make the 5 Plus blade carriage different from the 12 blade carriage? So with the CB09, in order to use it, the adapters have to work. So if the adapters work for the manual blade, it will work for the CB09, but you can't just put them in there like that. You have to have an adapter. Okay, so on the site, it says the tool adapters work for the 4. The info is very vague on what works for the 5 Plus. I think the 5 uses everything the 4 uses, but not sure. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of gathering. Someone said, but you never had a 4, right? But a lot of people had the 4 and they just threw all those adapters away. So, I mean, it's worth a try. Like, I don't know what the shipping would be like from here. Yeah, I don't know what the shipping would be like, but for $4.99, it's not bad. Calculate shipping. Zip code. Oh, and they have a fixed shipping of standard shipping, $7.15. That's fixed. So that puts you at, I mean, it comes out a little bit less than Amazon. I don't know what their standard shipping is, if that's like snail mail or sorry, still take like 5 days to get to you, but it's a little bit less than Amazon because Amazon is $12.99. It'll come out to $12.14 here. So if you're willing to sacrifice $12 to see if it works to be able to use a much better blade, then do so. And then let me know, because I don't have a 5. And I only wanted the 5 plus, because if it don't work, I really have no reason to ever buy a 5. I really wish you had the 5 plus, because there's really no clear info out there regarding it. Never had the 4, only the originals. And I've looked for people who are local. Like, I'm like, hey, you can come here. It'll be a free, just so I can get my hands on one, because I don't need it. And I don't want to spend money on it where I'm just giving them free advertisement. I get no support there because I don't need it whatsoever. Like, I have, even for wider cuts, I have other machines, so I don't really need the 5 plus. Okay, so after 4 years, I still can't do contour cutting with my Cameo 4. Oh, because you got a Pro, girl. When it comes to the Pro, it requires, like, there's certain setups, which is why I did the print and cut workshop. And I was asking, was anybody, I was hoping there would be some people there with the Pro. Actually, I think we had like one person, but there is a specific way that you have to set it up. Most times I can get people going with like proper contour cuts for print and cuts with the Pro, but it requires a one-on-one session, because I have you put the camera at your machine, because, and like so there's a lot of things I have to kind of point out where you slide things to, where you load it in at, if you're trying to use that humongous mat versus a 12-inch mat versus a 12 by 24-inch mat. Like, there's a lot of variables. So most times I get people up and running and getting them where they can cut with the Pro via one-to-one sessions. You can always, book one of those, but that's one of the main reasons. I called those issues out when they first came out with it. And since day one, those who have been here for a while, they know from day one, I have screamed, do not buy the 4 Pro. Do not buy the 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 Pro. Don't get the Pro. Don't get the Pro. I have literally screamed that since the day that they released it. The 5 plus seems to be overshadowed by the 5A. So influencers didn't seem to bother with it. Which is, I wish I had heard you. Yeah, and there's some people that heard me and they still did it, and then they'll come back and be like, I should have listened, Professor. I tried to tell you. Yeah, I mean, probably because of the price as well. Like, there wasn't a major, like, there was no major difference. Like, it's not like Cricut, where at least they gave you additional tools that you could use. That's what we're talking about. Like, I don't have the 5. I have 9 machines, and they're all the older ones. For me, so a couple of things why I could never get jiggy with the 5. Okay, let me go to this picture. Are there any close-ups of this? Dang it. None of these are close up. Let me see. Okay. When they first came out with this, the way that they have the bar in front and the way they have the rollers, I was like, oh, absolutely the heck not. Nope, not gonna happen, Captain. With loading the mat, that I already knew that would irritate the crap out of me. That was first things first. Not gonna happen, Captain. Don't want it. Send it returns. Like, I just was like, no, back to the drawing board. I did like the fact that they brought back repeat job, but just the setup of it, I foresaw it being an issue. And for a lot of people, they first got it, oh, it was a major issue. the first couple of runs, they had to kind of redo some things and fix some bugs because print and cut was not working with this because of these things like being in the way and stuff like that. So just the overall look of it, I was like, absolutely not. I did not need another 12-inch machine. So I thought about getting the Plus, but baby, the cost of it, now see, now it's not that, this was a little bit more, I think, before. So it's $400, and I was like, I don't really need this. Yeah, I'm like, I really don't need this one. Not for, and I think Swing Designs, they didn't even have the machine only. They always had like these bundles. And I'm like, one, I don't even need this vinyl. I don't use y'all vinyl. So I was like, no. But yeah, I won't be getting one. Now, if someone in Miami has one, I would love to be able to connect with them and go use it and get my hands on it, make some video content with it. And I could, they'll basically get my teaching for free, but I will not be purchasing a Plus. And maybe that's the reason why, like, my content for this has died down, because you can't just go to their website and purchase a 4. And I don't support these machines at all. I don't have these machines. So maybe that's why those who are newer don't really check for my channel, because I don't use V5 and I don't use any of these machines. I don't recommend any of these machines. If you can go to a marketplace and find a 4, I recommend doing that. Please hold. These spam calls are getting on my nerves. Truth be told, I haven't found a permanent spot for my 5 Plus because it's bigger than the Cameo. So I haven't researched deeply, but quick searches are not finding much helpful info. Yeah, I just went to YouTube. I didn't see a whole lot. I have 4. Yeah, I saw that one. Meaning I don't use it until I need to do bigger jobs. Then I remember to research tools and mats and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, for bigger jobs, like for me, no matter what, I'm going to have a 12 by 24-inch mat because I use 11 by 17 paper. Their 15 by 15 mat would not work for me anyway. So I was like, and I rarely ever cut without a mat for HTV or like, so HTV is really the only thing that is 15 inches. My adhesive vinyl, the smallest standard roll is technically a 24. I have mine cut down to 12. There are some companies that do sell full rolls as 12s, but I buy 24-inch rolls and I have them cut down. So those still wouldn't fit inside the 15-inch. The 15-inch is ideal for HTV because Caesar's smallest standard roll, like not the one especially where other people cut it down to 12, their standard roll is 15 inches wide. So it would work for that. But that's if you're cutting on the roll with no mat. I don't do a whole lot of that. So I was like, yeah, I use a lot of specialty HTV, and those come in 20-inch rolls. So I would have to use one of my bigger machines anyway, because again, you will never, ever, 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 ever convince me to get a Cameo 24-inch cutter. So but yeah, bigger jobs for me just means longer, and my regular Cameos, they do that. So have you guys, like, this is actually a question because I think Silky Socks, Danny from Silky Socks, Danish, how do you say his name? He asked a question: is sublimation dead? Are people not doing a whole lot of sublimation anymore? I'm gonna pull out my Cameo 3 and try it. Yeah, I mean, 3 is I mean, it's better than the 5. To know me is to know that my 3 is not my favorite machine. That's the one I like the least, if I can even say I like it. But yeah, I'm more of my originals, and my 2 are like those are my road dogs. The 4 only when I need to cut on the floor and in the hallway because the Bluetooth works on those. 3, I bring her out for show for classes, but I don't actually actively cut on my 3. I think DTF and UV DTF are taking over. Yeah, but most times they can't print in house. Those printers are really expensive. Material for that gets kind of pricey. I mean, yeah, you can order transfers, but then you end up not having a lot of control over it. But yeah, yeah, there I have that's the 2 right here. This is you see it's on. This is my don't tell my original Cameos, but the 2 is technically kind of sort of my favorite, but I have to protect this. The only reason, like, because the 2 has repeat job. I love that. But I'm always so very protective over this because when this first came out, people were like cracking their screen, and because it's like touch, this is the first touch one that they had. Once this is messed up, you can't use it anymore. Um, so I'm very protect. I want to be able to put like a hard plastic over this part to protect it, but I like the fact that it has repeat job, and I don't technically have to use my calibrated mats. So I calibrate my mats when it comes to the Cameos because I only use Cricut mats or hard mats. Because we have some HS ink mats, but they never went into production, but I still have some of them. But the hard mats, they don't line up like the silhouette mat. So I have to calibrate the mat. But with the 2, I don't technically have to. It will still pick up kind of, if I have it like just in the roundabout area, it will still pick up. That's why I love this thing. But yeah, my 2 and my originals are my favorites. I love the 2 because it has repeat job. The 3 has repeat job, but I don't like it. And the 4 doesn't have repeat job, which is why I don't like it. They brought repeat job back for the 5, but I can't stand the look and the setup of that one. So the 2, which I really wish I've looked, and I'm still on the hunt for marketplaces. Somebody that found one. I'm always looking in thrift stores for like where people kind of gave these up. If I can get 5 more of these, I would be in heaven. Yes, but you can send the job from, but you can't load it. So if it's in a place where you can't load the mat, you can only load the mat from here. You can't load the mat from the computer. Yeah, it's not an update. Like it's not up. I'm sorry, it's not an upgrade. Like the 5 really isn't an upgrade. I mean, there's a lot of people like they felt like it was like getting the updated version, but it's real. Like if your regular ones work, there's no need to get the 5. Like there's no need, none whatsoever. I'm still sublimating, but it doesn't seem to be as popular with UVDTF and DTF being so quick and convenient. Yeah. I mean, I guess. And it's like me, I guess all also depends on like what you make. So for some things, like you have to. Like, so for anything like you could use UVDTF for a keychain, mugs, and like hard substrates, things like that. But I do like when I'm doing rags, I can only use sublimation, for that. If I'm doing memorial ribbons, it's only sublimation for that. If I'm doing, what are some other things? Because even with the tumbler, there's so many options to do a tumbler. You don't have to do sublimation, but there are some things where sublimation is like literally the only option. Mainly my rags and towels, blankets. I mean, I guess you could use DTF, but you'll feel it. So I love sublimation for like, especially baby blankets, memorial ribbons, of course. You can use DTF with stoles, but if you want to do it all over, then sublimation is going to be the best option for that. I want to try and use UV DTF for my plaques because I sublimate plaques now in awards. If I want like a full, well, I guess I could still do a full color, but it's like trimming it away. Oh, slate, because you cannot really trim around. If you wanted to go to the edge, you can't really use UV DTF for that, like trying to go around and trim that because all the slates are different. So to me, slates are still a need sublimation for that. Because even with cutting boards, you would have to make sure that you let the printer know to print it in reverse, and you can put it under a clear cutting board and be able to still use it. So you don't need sublimation for that. Lanyards, I do lanyards. That one to me requires sublimation. I guess you could do DTF on it because it's like it's thick anyway. You don't really wash it a whole lot. So if you got longer strips, I guess you could use DTF for that. I'm literally trying to visualize my blanks wall. I mean, cheer bows can go anyway, but when you want designs on it, I use it. So I sublimate bows. Pillowcases can go either way unless you're doing full bleed. Someone's outside my house. I'm trying to think. The 3 is your favorite? Oh, it's my least favorite. I'm trying to think. I still sublimate my tumblers. And yeah, I still sublimate tumblers as well, but I know for some people it does get frustrating because if you don't do it correctly, you end up with white spots. It's very rare that I'm gonna have a jacked up tumbler because maybe mine are going in the oven. It's sealed, 5 minutes, it's done. My way of wrapping my tumblers is foolproof. I don't have them issues anymore. When I try to do all the other ways, I had all these issues. My way of doing tumblers, I have no issue. I go to my mama house and do my tumblers all the time because I'm gonna put them all in the oven and call it a day, shouted. So yeah, I still submit my tumblers. Why don't I like the Cameo 3? That ish was way too big. For one. Okay, boom. It's actually right here on the floor. So a lot of the main thing for it was this would have more issues with connecting. The way I would have to unplug and plug in the cord in order for it to connect drove me up the wall. That was one of the things. The second thing was the tapping, but then we used the manual blade for that. The size of it was also a hell to the no. So where my machines sat at and like the shelves, I'm not sure if y'all can see from there. So they're lined up. Finding a shelf for this thing was always an issue. It's like 2.5. So it's about this much extra space this way. And then when you lift it up, look at how high it goes. So the shelves that I had it on, it wouldn't really work. Like, remember, I have a bunch of them. I was using them like when I'm in grass season, especially when I'm doing like fans, I need to run as many machines as possible. This was almost impossible because they made it so huge and this lid was humongous as heck. Oh my God, I hated the size of this thing. So this was a major issue. with the height of this compared to, and the one, it opens up. Look at the clearance on there. That's a very, very big difference. So this was an issue. I didn't have one. Luckily, I didn't get the one. Actually, no, I'm telling the fib. I gave the other one away. This thing right here doesn't always lock. They had a bad batch. They didn't recall them. They didn't replace them. They didn't fix them. And this would not lock. So you would have to wrap tape around it to keep it from spinning. That was annoying as crap. Anybody got time for that, to keep having to do that? So that was an issue. It wasn't this, no, it's the 4 that had the one that kept coming down. So no, it wasn't the stuff back here. It's the 4. At first, used to drive me crazy because that cross cutter would come down and it would mess up. But this one it was more so the size of this one and that tapping of the blade. I hated the tapping of the blade. So that's why I couldn't stand it. Can't stand it. It is very dusty because she never gets used. Ever, 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 ever. Every once in a while, every 2 blue moons, she gets used. She's here for decorations and for teaching purposes, but we don't use her. And I'm so sorry because I did say, okay, I would get the 5 plus because I was going to get it. But more, I was like, yeah, no. She's like, I got the 5 plus because you told me about the sale last year and I took the opportunity to do my first upgrade to a newer machine, but my originals are still going strong. Yeah. Like, see, actually just using this one. Here's my original. I have 3 of these. I have 3 originals, a 2, 1, 3. 3 originals or 4 originals? Because I think my mom ended up buying one, but I know I have 3 originals, a 2, a 3. I now have 3 4s because someone gave me one. A portrait 3. I guess when I had 9, I have 8. Oh, that is 9. That's 9 machines. Yes. I have 9 machines now. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I was like you could technically do, if you're doing things in the middle, you could use DTF on a lanyard. But if I'm like, normally when I'm doing them, I'm doing full bleeds and they're not always made the same, or you have to be very, very, very careful. Like you have to now go and try and be very careful to where it doesn't go over the sides or you end up having to trim it. So for a full bleed for a lanyard, I would rather do sublimation because I don't have to trim anything away. I don't have to like worry about any of that stuff. And most times I'm doing like a full bleed. It's very rare that I'm just kind of putting things on the inside, like just words and stuff. I've done those a few times, like with businesses, and I just put their logo or like their business name on the inside. But most times it's full bleed. So that's why I don't. Also say like you can't technically use DTF, especially if you're just kind of putting logos and names and stuff on the inside. Full bleed you could because again you don't wash it, but you take the chance. Like it's more of a headache trying to line it up exactly with that. And then, if you off a little bit, then you end up having to trim or you have it hanging off, or you can just not care if you just don't have standards and quality control. So that's why I said for me, technically DTF would not be my go-to. I still feel like summation is king when it comes to lanyards because there's too many things that can go wrong with DTF. Oh wait, let me see. They did a full bleed, but oh my God, I hate this because I can't really see it. Okay, hold on. They did a full bleed, but they had their own printer. So who knows how many reprints and edits they did to their video. Exactly. So explain full bleed, no problem. So full bleed just means that you're going edge to edge. Okay. I don't have a ribbon version of this. Let me see. Do I have one of the other ribbons? Dang it, I was hoping I would have a ribbon or a lanyard in here. But I don't see. But my husband also did just clean my room. So certain things where I knew where they were, I no longer know where they are. I had organized chaos. My husband didn't like my organized chaos. So for Mother's Day, he cleaned my room, but then I can't find Ish. Okay. I don't see any of the ribbons that I just did. Because I always keep extra because that is how I do my marketing. I don't try to force myself to take pictures of the order. I make extras so that I can take my own pictures. Okay, I'll just use, these will still give you kind of an idea of what I mean by full bleed. So let's take this slate for example. You can go, this is normally white. So you can go and put words and stuff, or you can put someone's picture on here and it's not going to go edge to edge. So full bleed means it basically just goes past the edge. So if you were to put something on here, it's just like in the center of it. And you can put UV DTF on here. You can even do sublimation. But that's what I was saying, like the way these edges are, you wouldn't be able to trim this. If you tried to do UV DTF, and for some reason, when it comes to UV DTF, people think that you can't do like a solid block. Like they always want it to be open, but you can literally cover the entire face of something, like have the entire thing printed. But something like this, you wouldn't be able to like properly around the edges of it. So it'll look kind of funky because these edges are all, over the place and no two are the same. So sublimation is still best if you're going to do something like this. When I'm doing sashes, I can use HTV if it's something like this, but for something that's like a stole, or if I'm doing a full sash, it needs to be sublimation because it goes all the way to the edge. Like this rag. So this rag is considered to be a full bleed rag because it goes over the edge. So when I'm designing it, I make the design a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch bigger. That way I just sit it in the middle and the color goes all the way to the edge, and I don't take the chance of getting any white around the edges of this. Whereas putting something in the middle is like just doing a center print is like this. It's not going to the edge. Or if it was a shirt and you're just doing a center print, but full bleed will be going all the way to the edge. Normally when I'm doing ribbons, it's going like the color is going all the way to the edge. It's a full bleed. Great question. Thanks for that. She said, I was jealous when you said your husband cleaned your room. Then you said you couldn't find anything. And MJ tried to tell him, he was like, Mommy likes her organized. I can walk on my, like, I can walk now. Like, I mean, I couldn't move in here before. So I am grateful. But he just kind of like stacked stuff into piles. So I still have to now go through it and figure out what's what and like where he puts it. And I can't find ish. So, but I can walk on my floor. That I can do. I can walk through the room without breaking my neck. Yeah, the 3 is very high. I have a 3, 4, and the portrait. The original portrait, the portrait 3 or the portrait 4? Or is it 2 and whatever it is? Which portrait do you have? Because there's been a couple series of the portrait as well. You're welcome. My portrait is still in the box. I have yet to open that thing. I also now have a white toner, and I haven't even set that up because for some reason I can't find the cord. I want to set it up. Like we got it and it came in here, but I don't know what I did with the power cord. But I really want to set up this white toner printer because that's another way. Like you wouldn't need to use, I wouldn't need to use DTF because you would use the A and B and you can press it to different things. Like I wanted really to do gable boxes and I can't because I can't find the cord. Like I would love to be able to do gable boxes without sticker paper, without stickers. Oh, hold on. We had orders and post office came and I had just remembered I never put them outside. So I had to give her the orders for people who order summation paper. Yeah, so I had to run out there, almost hurt myself trying to run to give her those packages. I have the 2, the 3, and 2. You purchased 2. Oh, one was gifted. You have 2 pros. Yeah, that, I mean, if you want, like I said, you can always book a one-on-one session. I mean, you can get it going, but it's like not like the others. You have to kind of make indicators and notches. Like you can use adhesive vinyl, you can use a Sharpie, but like mark exactly where to put certain things at when it comes to that particular machine. But you can get it to contour cut. You just have to know the proper setup. All right, so literally 5 more minutes, guys, because MJ will be done with photography in about 10 minutes, and his school is 5 minutes away. Hold on. I had to tell him to put his pants on so that we can go pick up his brother. One of the things I've never seen people use, and maybe, I mean, it's just in the places I've looked, things that I haven't seen people use DTF for. And maybe even you can, because with this, if you end up doing what you can probably use, because I've put adhesive vinyl on these and they stayed like I've had them for years. But this is HTV. Even with canvases, well, if you don't want to have to cut everything, I have yet to really see people use DTF to create art on canvases. Well, that is HTV. So you heat press it. You do have to put something because it's hollow. So I've built out basically a thing that goes inside of here that's the same height for this to sit on top. But you basically heat press this. It'll be the same thing with DTF. You would heat press it. As I said, the UV DTF is very, very sticky. You would probably be able to put UV DTF on the canvases because there is a medium on here and it's not completely like it's like painted on top. So it's kind of a solid surface. So you probably will be able to put UV DTF on here as well, but I heat press. This is all HTV. I never got the Curio. I have the original Curio, which I've used maybe twice years ago, and 2 Cricuts and a Joy that I've used maybe 4 or 5 times. A Brother Scan and Cut that I've used once. So you were addicted to cutting machines. I have the 3. That's the one that's right here, still in the box. Still in the box. Because the 3 has the... Oh, no, there is a portrait too, because the 2 is the original one with the auto blade, which is the round one. This one has the new auto blade, the auto blade 2. So yeah, I never... Yep, it's my pickup time as well. She's like, thank you so very much. Like you, it's pickup time. It's been very helpful. You are very welcome. I may have missed it, but which do you recommend? What do you mean? Which do I recommend for what? Which do I recommend for what? I saw one video with DTF on a Dollar Tree canvas. It was cool. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I have a 2, which I love. The 3, not a fan of, all for the reasons you listed. Yeah. I mean, for me, try to find those who were foolish enough to say they upgraded to the 5 and they wanted to sell their 4s. Buy it used. It's unless the damn it, the ribbon, like that part is broken, you should be good. So I would say go to marketplaces, go to eBay, find a 4. Or maybe, I mean, I wouldn't say the plus because people say like you can't use certain things with the plus. So I guess maybe the original Cameo 5. And I think the Alpha, they probably made it closer to the plus. So with the Alpha, you probably can't use the adapters. Because remember, they had a Cameo 5 and then they came out with the Cameo 5 Alpha, which is weird to me in that name because Alpha is first. It's the 2nd generation. So I don't know why. And I guess they didn't want to call it like beta testing. But you could have came up with a different name because it's not the first. There was already a Cameo 5. They started calling it the Cameo 5 Alpha. Don't know what that is. Don't really know the difference because they look the same. But it might be the functionality when it comes to those adapters. And they've prevented you from using manual blades with it. Like some people are saying they did with the plus. But yeah, I would say go to marketplaces, find a 2, find a 4, but I would never pay full price for a 5. Now, if I ever go and someone is getting rid of their 5 because they realize it was trash and they're selling it for a decent price, I may consider getting it that way, but I would never pay full price for a 5. Yeah, if you only use it for print and cut, get a 2 or find a 4. So yeah, I literally just use my 2 for print and cuts. That's one of my favorites for print and cuts. So most times, like when I'm doing grad orders, I will use my two for my two, or yeah, I will use the two. If I have a lot of orders, I pull out the three because the two and the three have repeat job. So I could literally just keep loading because I keep a bunch of mats like loaded up, ready to go. I don't try to operate just from a few mats. So I'll just, once they print out, I'll have them on there ready to go and I'll just load them. And the two and the three have repeat job. So if it's not like too crazy, I pretty much do all of my print and cuts. Like if it's like let's say if it's somebody that ordered the minimum, which is 6 smalls, because it's 3 sheets, I can do those like, and I can put that on a 4 and just kind of send that or whatever. But the portraits is great. I mean, not the portraits. The 2 is great because I can just keep hitting repeat jobs. When it comes to my thicker cardstock, oh baby, they're gonna get cut on the 1, the original, every single time. The 4 does horrible. The 4 is not. Oh, that was the other thing with the 3. The 3 did not do well with double cuts. It just didn't. And my backings, I use 110-pound paper. It for me, my 3, she don't do too well with double cuts. She's always off, and I ain't got time for that. When it comes to cutting my 110-pound, I only have to do 1 pass because to me, it gives more downward force. I can cut through my 110-pound backing for like my fans and stuff with the 1 in 1 pass. I'll have to do 2. If I do 2, to me, it is the most accurate out of all of them. So I normally cut my backings, but I don't have repeat jobs, so I have to keep going to the computer to hit send. Or if it's like a really big job, I save it to an SD card. I put it in there. I just keep sending it from the SD card. But then my 2 is my workhorse for all things print and cut because of that repeat job. So I have a process. I have a system. System save lives. Any interest in the HTV Romp vacuum press, the one that does cell phone cases? No, because I don't have a big market for that. That would be the only reason for it, is literally for the vacuum. I'm also not a big fan of all-in-one type deals. If I wanted a vacuum press, I've had opportunity to get one. I had one of the companies offer to send me one. I didn't have the space for it, and it was just like really no need for me to kind of have that. So I turned it down. I'm just not a big fan of multi-use heat presses. In theory, it sounds good, but it will be interesting to see if there is a delay time that you have to wait from using the vacuum to using it as a regular heat press. Like, are they both heating up at the same time? Like, can you use them like back to back and automatically switch from one? Or do you have to kind of like wait and stuff like that? Like, that would be really interesting, because I'm trying to remember, like, if the top part, if it still fully closes down, or is that like its own internal thing? Because if it has to close down, I'm pretty sure it has to cool down, because you wouldn't want that hot platen, top platen on the bottom platen. So from the pictures that I've seen so far, like I would think that would be an issue. I'm just not a big fan of multi-purpose. I like for things to have their individual uses. For a crafter who's not really doing a lot of business like with these things, and like each one is like, okay, a little bit here and there, I can see their allure with it. For all of the influencers who are going to say, oh yes, this is amazing, they're not using it every day. They're not using it for business. They're using it for content purposes. So they'll probably show one feature, they'll show another. They're never going to go and talk about, well, if I need to go from this and I don't have another heat press, and they convince like a newbie to get this, well, you can't go from the vacuum press to pressing this. So now they're not going to show you all that. They're going to just show you these, oh, this is so amazing. I can't stand that. I have a dedicated machine for what you want it to do. That's just me. So Okay, so like if it's just the vacuum one, I've had an opportunity to get one of those before. I don't do enough of those things in order to, and then you have to have a special film for that. It's not really your regular paper. The paper that I use, of course, I'm going to always use Honestly Speaking, and you need to have almost like a film where it will go over the edges, because with regular paper, you go when you do that, it's not going to really conform to it. So when you're doing that, it's like this really thin paper. Come on, so that it actually conforms to it. And I don't do a whole lot of that. A lot of people like the vacuum because even for like mugs and things, I'm not sure how deep. I don't think theirs is deep enough to do anything other than like cell phone cases. But with the original vacuum one, it was deep. So you can put mugs and things in there. It's like a special, you can put shot glasses, you put it inside of like this little green silicone thing and it sucks it and you're able to do more than one and it kind of gives you that pressure. But I don't have a problem with using my oven. So I just when they offered it to me, it's going to take up space. The number of videos they wanted for it, I wasn't going to be able to commit to it because I knew it was going to just piss me off. So I didn't get it. Like I said, it just depends on what it is that you're wanting to do, if it makes sense, you know. So I'm gonna tell you the good part about it, the bad part. That's the thing about me. I'm not just gonna hype it up. I'm going to give you the worst case scenario, and this may not work for you for X, Y, and Z. So really lay out your options. Yeah, if you're not already selling cell phone cases, like even the original with the rubber around it and putting the metal piece on the back, if you haven't created a market for yourself with that, then those other ones just won't make a lot of sense. And then they're very cheap. Like nowadays, most people want cases that are shock proof, like shock resistant, like all those things, because these phones are super expensive. They are damn near made of glass and they're going to crack easily. Where before phones were made a little bit more stronger and you could use those plastic ones. Now you definitely need something that has shock absorption, and those blanks, they just don't. They are just a plastic around it. So I wouldn't even trust it on my phone anyway. All right, gotta go pick up MJ. I shall talk to you guys later. It won't be tonight. We have our creative business. If you are in creative business, make sure you're checking your emails. Come to the session. You're paying for it, so why not come to the session? And if you are wanting to enroll in it, send me a message and I will send you over all the information. I don't have time to like post it now. As far as our creative business, you can try it out for 7 days for $13.65. So if you want to attend tonight's session, we are going over systems to make your life easier. So if you want to just attend tonight's session, you can do it. I think it's $13.65 for a 7-day pass. Yeah, I think so. So you get to kind of watch all the videos that's there for 7 days. All right, y'all. Until next time, have a great one. Let me see. Hold on. I see something else here. Yes, the ones with the film. Been waiting to see more videos showing what else can be subbed in it. I have the big vacuum press from back in the day. So what you want, you just like buying stuff. If you have the regular vacuum one, what you want, you can tell you can't put anything deep. Their well is like this. So like you could probably do things like slates on it. You know, like the cell phone cases, anything that's like keychains, maybe. But if you have that, why you won't stop trying to buy stuff just because people are showing it? Okay, you don't need it. You have something that's far better that can do a whole lot more. Don't look at not a damn another real demonstration of that. You don't need it. Okay? You don't need it. Yes, you like new things. You don't need it. All right, y'all. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity. Be incredible. Peace.